Welcome, everybody, to a new episode of the OTT Podcast. My name is Tyler Thompson. I'm the editor-in-chief of KentuckySportsRadio.com. And tonight, I'm joined by my co-host, Fake Barney. Barney, how you doing? How's quarantining? Day
Good.
567.
Yeah. It's good. We're hanging in there. Numbers are going down a little bit here in North Carolina until all the kids go back to school. It's nice to go down and not up. Like the last time we talked, I think the whole country was going in the wrong direction. So how are things in Nashville?
Numbers in Nashville are going down, but it just feels like you're fighting a losing battle sometimes.
Yeah.
I think the mayor today said, well, we can open bars to 25% capacity because they had been closed because people on Broadway were being stupid.
Right.
But I don't know. I mean,
I saw the thing you tweeted about the Titanic.
About college sports?
Yeah.
That's a fun topic.
I was like, holy cow, man. Yeah, so this might be the only football Friday Night Lights here that we get to watch this fall, but I might be okay with that. I like the show better than I thought I would.
Yeah, so for our listeners, or actually our viewers, because we're doing this on Zoom, we decided
Hey, everybody.
For the first time, we actually had a whole other awesome episode recorded. We did our favorite 90s music videos, and I thought it was our best episode ever. And we had done the technology and whatever, and I went to upload it to YouTube, and it was like copyright claim.
Yeah, they didn't like all the 90s music videos. They still want to make their money off of those. A lot of people logging on to watch old Madonna videos and Spice Girls 2 become one. But I think it just becomes another legendary OTT episode that's lost, that we'll have to just tell people about in person, much like my cough medicine episode.
Exactly. So if you ever see us, if we're ever in public ever again, feel free to ask. Because
we'll tell you all about our favorite 90s music videos.
Yeah, so I've had this idea rather, to rewatch Friday Night Lights, or just do an episode about it for the longest time, because it's probably one of my top 5 favorite TV shows, maybe top 3. And you had never seen it. And so we were thinking, we'll hopefully have football this fall. Cross your fingers. But as the NCAA health advisors, infectious disease experts said this morning, we've already hit the Titanic, and conferences that are still trying to play are just wondering when the band's going to start playing.
I like the idea of all of these good schools from the other conferences that are just joining the SEC. I think that idea is one that I would be willing to entertain. It's kind of fun.
So before we get on to FNL, it is August 13th.
FNL.
What's your percentage likelihood that we will see Kentucky football this fall?
I don't know, 75.
That's high. Wow.
Well, I mean, they're moving forward. I mean,
we still have a month and a half.
Yeah, and that's why I think it's so silly. I've seen people talking about when this is going to open and when that's going to open, and telling us, that things are going to reopen in January, and it's like, dude, you don't know what's going to happen in 2 weeks from now. This world.
Yeah.
Do you know how far away January is? January is as far away now as this whole thing has been. So it's when you start talking about, we're going to do this in January, or we're going to do this in November, or we're going to do this in December.
Who knows?
It feels like when you think about November, okay, this is August. So September, October, that's 3 months from now. So what was 3 months ago? I don't know. Were we still in April? I mean, what was what month was that?
We're running together.
I know, but think about how long ago February or March feels. It feels like years ago. And I mean, so to try to say, oh, this is definitely going to happen or this is not. I mean, what could I'll say this way about football in the fall. What could get worse to happen? The numbers are already bad. We know on a projection of where they're probably going to be. So unless there's like some big surprise or something that happens, if they're already planning on moving forward in spite of it, at least in some conferences, what's to change it? I guess would be my question back to you.
I think all the kids moving back onto campus, outbreaks happening, more people on the team getting infected, because UK and all honestly, most of these teams have done a great job getting the kids, the players isolated, being safe. They haven't started full contact practice yet.
Yeah.
So you got to see what happens there. I saw University of Tennessee, they let kids move in like last weekend or something, and they've had an outbreak.
Football or all kids?
Just students in general.
Everybody, okay.
But I think also what's scaring people a lot is that that heart condition that people are developing. Right. And I think people are just going to say, you know what, it's not worth it, but we'll see. I really, really, really hope there's football this fall.
Yeah, I mean, I think the answer to my question would be somebody, getting seriously ill or heaven forbid dying or something of it, Right. I mean, that could change everything. So I guess that's the 25%, I mean, I'm sure that some schools are going to, I mean, and the logic behind all of this is so dumb. Like just the double standards left and right. I mean, how is it that we can play Mississippi, but we can't play Louisville? Like that makes no sense at all. It
is very stupid.
Especially if everybody's, for the most part, abiding by the same general guidelines of, isolating the teams. If the ACC and the SEC, are they really that different in how the conferences are handling this?
I would think not. I mean, they're all going by the NCAA's guidelines. It just shows you how messed up college football is. Because the college football playoff, like, the FBS is not really governed by the NCAA. That's why it's up to all these conferences. And hopefully that means, college basketball is governed by the NCAA.
Right.
So hopefully all of this mess will have been, they will have it figured out by the time basketball season gets here. And I know they're working on that right now, because I don't think the NCAA can afford to miss another March Madness.
No. Yeah.
That's so much money.
There's a lot of businesses that can't. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Yeah, right. It'll be interesting to see what happens. I just hope nobody gets sick, and
of course.
It just stinks, man. I mean, this virus, it's not hard to find good in some things, like, being able to spend more time at home and with family and things like that. Like, you don't have to look hard for that. But then, I think also every single person is been affected by this, and to some extent. And I think it's important not to downplay that, whether it be an athlete who's trained their entire life to play football, or whether it be somebody who's, getting married and has always wanted a wedding like you and I got to have, and it's like, I think that or someone who's always wanted to go to college, and they finally get to go to college. I know.
Can you imagine going to college and not being able to go to a party?
No, I can't.
It'd be terrible.
Or the kids that didn't get to do prom and graduation. I think that everybody has been affected by this, even if you're just somebody who's at home and some days you have kind of depressed days and some days you have great days. I think everybody is just struggling with this, and it's important to acknowledge that and say, okay, hey, what can we do to try to make this thing go away as soon as possible, so that we can get back to doing all the things that we like doing.
Well, one thing that's been helping me is Friday Night Lights. So.
So you've been trying to get me to watch this for a long time.
Forever.
Well, we had to finish the OC rewatch,
Oh, well, that's a whole other OTT series, the OC on
Baby
OTT.
Bop was a much bigger fan of the OC than any of us expected.
Good.
At the end of it, she looked at me and said, okay, I was making fun of you about this, but I can see why you liked it so much.
Yeah, so.
You couldn't believe it when the thing happened to Marissa that happened to Marissa.
Well, don't spoil it for everybody.
I said the thing happened to Marissa that happened to Marissa. But I think
bangs. No,
she liked the end of the show, and just how they I don't know if you remember this, but like the last 3 or 4 episodes of the OC, when they knew they were getting canceled, they just started like breaking the fourth wall like crazy and just talking
I can't remember. It's been a long time. I haven't watched.
You would really like rewatching it. It was so funny because they're just like, they started doing it with Summer's dad when he left the show. And then they were like, oh yeah, I'm going to some hospital in Seattle. I heard the lady that runs it is really mean, and like, Seattle Grace or something like that. And like, they just start like just totally.
I totally forgotten about that. That's awesome.
Yeah. Breaking the fourth wall. So it's kind of funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we finished the OC rewatch. Good. So we're ready. So we moved on to Friday Night Lights. I think we're on like episode 10 or 11 or something now.
Yeah. That's the great thing about binging during this time is when you find a series that you haven't watched before and there's like 5 seasons, it's like Christmas because you're like,
well, Tyler, I tried to watch it on the NBC app first.
Did you try it on like the Peacock app? Because
no,
it's free.
I just downloaded it on the Apple TV. I did NBC.
Oh, yeah.
And every episode was like 2 hours long with all the commercials. Like it would come up, it would be like add 1 of 7 and you were like, oh.
So if you guys want to watch along at home or rewatch the Peacock app, you can watch it without ads and it's free.
Well, and they're doing a special
that after our conversation about that.
Well, they're doing a special on iTunes as well, where you can get the entire season for like $40.
Yeah, it's worth it.
No, not the entire season. I mean the entire series. I'm sorry, you can get all the seasons. So yeah, so we've been really powering through.
Well, because usually every year around this time, like I'm so excited for football to start that I will start watching Friday Night Lights again. Not the whole thing.
It's like your favorite episodes. Yeah.
Oh yeah, like I'll pull up my favorite season or episodes or whatever. And I think for a while it was on Netflix, which made it really easy. But anyway, so I thought we could do
Peacock app, everybody.
Peacock app, it's free.
Or the or
iTunes.
iTunes. Yeah, it's very affordable on iTunes.
Yeah, and I had forgotten what it was like to have 20 plus episodes in one season until today. I was looking and I was like, oh my God, there's like 20 episodes in season 1 or something.
Yeah. A lot has happened since the pilot.
I know.
I was preparing for our thing today. So
I don't think we can do episode by episode.
No. I thought we're just talking about the pilot today, right? And then maybe we can do them in groups of 5 or something like that.
Yeah, or we could even just do like 1 episode per season. Like we could pick we'll figure that out. But,
all right.
Because that's going to be
like a season recap. We could do like a season
and
recap.
Like our favorite episodes of that season.
Favorite moments. I like it. Let's do that.
Because otherwise we're going to be, who knows how long this quarantine is going to be, but we're going to be doing this nonstop. So
right. So everybody, this is my very first time watching this show. I don't know any spoilers, so please don't send me any. Do not send me spoilers. We're enjoying watching this for the first time. And so everything is just my first impression that you all had in 2001.
And it's awesome.
Like, when did this come out?
2006 was the first season. Right. So, and it was on NBC. But
I was watching the OC.
Yeah, right. You were too busy watching the OC.
Yeah, it started to transition to Gossip Girl at that time.
Yeah, so I have seen all of these episodes a ton of times. I went back and rewatched the pilot yesterday and today, and just to kind of like refresh my memory.
Okay.
So the format of this episode of the OTT is we're going to go like through a quick synopsis, kind of walk through our reactions to it, and then do first impressions of each character. I've written down some other things. Like I thought it was funny like watching it again to find the pop culture references because
and a lot of stuff hasn't aged well.
No, it hasn't. Really
some of the jokes and stuff. So you gotta overlook that.
We'll start with the synopsis from the Peacock streaming service. I did the Peacock one and then IMDb because they're both different.
All right.
So this is the pilot, episode 1. A Texas high school football team holds the hopes of the town as the players prepare for the season opener. And the IMDb synopsis is, new head coach Eric Taylor finds his every move scrutinized as he takes over leadership of Texas's #1 high school football team. I mean, that's accurate.
Yeah.
So in the detailed synopsis, I'm just, going through the main storyline, plot, moments. You open the episode and it shows every character like a montage listening to the local radio show.
Right.
Which hit home with us because, KSR and listening to some of the calls, I was like, this is like listening to KSR.
Except I don't think that Kentucky people listen to KSR. Maybe they do. But I can't see I don't know, Keldon Johnson riding down the road listening to KSR and be like, oh, wow, these guys have got really nice opinions.
Yeah, maybe that's just
the dude guy's going to walk all over town. This is this is incredible.
Maybe that's just something that's different, specific to high school stuff. I don't know. Growing up in Danville, we had a pretty big high school football team. We were good. So I don't really remember
I heard y'all like to tell people that too.
Oh, yeah, kind of.
Yeah,
Titletown.
Right. But did you have your own radio show about it?
That's what I was trying to think. I don't really remember listening to local radio.
Yeah, I think the only radio in my hometown, I think it made it 10 yards, from the station. I don't even really.
But anyway, so this is a common thing on Friday Night Lights, though. They do this a lot. Anytime there's criticism of the team, they'll play it through that little narrative, element.
Right.
And so
I liked the day thing too. Is that going to continue to happen?
Yeah.
Monday, Tuesday,
right.
That was cool because it helped kind of build things up to Friday.
Yeah, it's a good structure to it.
Yeah, and we found that a lot of times we're watching episodes and we're like, oh, we didn't even get to the game. When's the game?
Yeah. Well, they got 20 episodes in a season.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of games though.
Yeah. So, and then it goes to the local media day, which I had to laugh at because I was around the football team a lot in high school. We didn't have a media day like that. It was so professional. And I'm sure Texas football is much more serious than Kentucky high school football.
And even Danville.
Right. Than even Danville. Right. But I just had to laugh because they had a documentary crew or a local news crew following around Jason Street.
Right. So I thought that was going to be the format of the show when I first saw it. So I thought it was going to be kind of like The Office.
Yeah.
Where the reason that there's cameras around is because there's a documentary crew following them around. So after that just completely went away after the first episode.
It was we're going to do that for one segment.
Yeah, but the cameras, they'd even tried to kind of make the camera work that way, and so it was a little bit
you could tell it's the
yeah. So,
the camera work, I thought, nowadays TV shows are a lot different than they were in the early 2000s, but this was my husband was reminding me, not a groundbreaking show, but it was one of the first shows to kind of do more of a natural reality, kind of the camera follows people as they go along instead of people being on a set or something. It was different. I don't know. It felt different for the time.
And John Rayburn is skinny.
Yeah.
He's really skinny.
Well, he was that much younger back then.
Yeah, it was a lot. That was a long, 15 years, I guess. Probably.
Yeah, so the actor as the guy from Bloodline.
Yeah, to me, he's always going to be John Rayburn and not Coach Taylor.
He's always going to be Coach Taylor.
Well, yeah, but he's going to be that and the guy from Godzilla to me. He's in all the Godzilla.
You must have been the only person who's ever seen that.
No, all the new Godzilla movies are good.
No, they're not.
Oh, you're such a hater. They totally redid them. So I'm not talking about the Matthew Broderick Godzilla. I'm talking the ones that they're doing right now.
Right.
There's 30-second segue. There's Do
I need to bring in my husband, the two guy, one girl Santa?
Yeah, because they've started this thing where it started off with Godzilla, and then they did the Kong Skull Island, and then they did Godzilla King of the Monsters.
This sounds so stupid.
But they all flow together with this storyline of this government entity called Monarch that tracks these big things that are it's really good, and it's all been built. And it's all been building up to King Kong versus Godzilla, which was supposed to come out this year.
Okay, let me ask Matt real quick. Matt, are the new Godzilla movies are they good?
Not as good as the original Godzillas.
He said not as good as the
original. The claymation ones? What you talking about?
I don't know. But anyway, so Kyle Chandler is an amazing actor who I first got to know as Eric Taylor.
Yeah.
So, and I can't even say his name without saying it like Saracen's mom or grandmother. Coach Eric Taylor.
That's Coach Taylor's coming over.
Taylor. Yeah. Coach Eric Taylor. I love her so much. Anyway, so you kind of
have thoughts about Grandma.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll get to them.
They're not nice thoughts.
What?
I hate Grandma. Man. I'm ready for her to die.
You are gonna just go to hell. That's a terrible thing to say. She'll grow on you. She's great.
Okay, I just like it. Just frustrates me. Like I want to get back to the football stuff, and she's like wandering off places and stuff, and I'm like Grandma. I'm just done. There's two storylines that frustrate me, just because I just want to fast forward through them. Grandma and whatever's going on with Tyra. I could care less about Tyra in a hotel room with some dude. Like what is? Why am I wasting my time?
A lot of people may not have even seen that part.
Well, shocker! Tyra is a lady of ill repute. I mean, you find that out in the first pilot episode when she's flirting with Smash and with Jason Street to tick off Riggins.
Yeah.
So I mean, Tyra, she has a new mole on her face for every guy that she hooks up with in the show.
She's
it's like a teardrop tattoo. Yeah. She has her, for every guy.
So after the pep rally, okay, so you were talking about the pep rally, which is at Buddy Gary's auto dealership,
which I think is also
hilarious.
Great.
I know.
Yeah, the auto, everything happens in the auto dealership.
No, I love it. I think it's great.
Yeah.
I lived in a small town that was kind of revolved around football. We didn't have stuff like that.
And not only that, I think it's silly that they, need to pick the big influential booster dude. It's like the guy that runs the car dealership. Right. It's not like some doctor or a lawyer or somebody, that's like the mayor, big wig. It's the dude that shells you a truck. What?
Well, and the things that happened at that pep rally were hilarious. You had Smash's rap, which was
so bad.
It included one of my pop culture notes. He said something about Tom Cruise and Scientology, and there's
he's the real T. Jones. Could show him up, I believe.
And then the overzealous mayor, who I thought was great. The woman.
Oh, yeah, she's great.
She's awesome. And then the frisky realtor who was hitting on, who was she hitting on? Riggins or the housewife who was.
Oh, yeah. She's so that was really funny.
So then, just walking through the episode some more, you see just scenes about how much football means to this town. They really just
great
hammer you over. It was a great pilot.
You can tell, with the exception of the weird reality TV show thing that they tried to do with the camera, with the interviewing guy. You found out what the show was going to be about, which is unusual for a pilot. Baby Bop and I went into this saying, well, that was pretty good. When it was over, we said, well, that was pretty good. And that's always the worst episode. Is the pilot.
Know, right?
It only gets better from there. And I think probably, of every show I've ever watched, I think that was probably the best pilot.
Yeah, it's usually ranked up there, and whenever you see lists, best pilots for TV series, it's always up there.
It just gave you a really good idea of what the show was going to be about. Mm-hmm. You got a little bit of Tammy, I
love Tammy.
You got a little bit of the town and how football is just different there. You found out a little bit about Coach. You could see the Jason Street thing coming a mile away.
Oh, that's what I was going to talk about. So when he's talking to the Pee Wee football team, and they just make him up, Jason Street, who's the quarterback in the show. They make him up to just be this saintly figure who can do no wrong, the ultimate golden arm quarterback. Yeah.
The dead giveaway was they should have saved Sarah's and a Grandma for episode 2, because when they start following the backup quarterback around, and you even know his name.
Well,
that's gonna happen. I mean, we looked at each. Yeah, but we looked at each other and we're like, didn't see that coming. I think that they could have not even introduced us to Saracen until episode 2, and let that been a big shock. But he had to come and
save the day. So obviously the rest of the episode is they're having their first game. They're down after halftime. They're trying to rally the troops. Jason Street throws an interception and goes to tackle the guy who picked it off. And
Coach didn't teach him how to tackle right.
It's true. That's a storyline coming up.
I know.
But he leads with his head.
Yeah,
he leads with his head, whatever. Gets hurt very badly. They have to take him to the hospital. So Saracen has to come in, and, his first pass is terrible. He throws it in the back of his teammate's helmet, and everybody's like, oh, God, here we go.
Right.
Oh, no, the sky is falling. And then he comes back and wins the game. So,
right, with his eyes open.
Right. I mean, it's just textbook, but it's a pilot, and it's an uplifting, and then you shift to the hospital where everybody's freaking out about Jason Street, and looks like he's paralyzed, and it's terrible. It's awful. But
they do a great job in this show of when it comes to the outcome of the games, making it really nerve-wracking for me and for Baby Bob. Like, we're watching this, and she's like legitimately stressed. Like, every episode, like, are they going to win the game? I think for as much of the show that is ridiculously predictable, the fun part about it is you really don't know if they're going to win or lose based upon the plot.
Yeah, because I agree with you, because even though the team won the game in the first episode, the quarterback got paralyzed.
Right.
I mean, and they didn't end the episode on a high note. They ended it with Coach Taylor in the hospital room.
Right.
With this kid. And it's hard not to tear up. That whole part where they're in the hospital and you see, like, first of all, would the hospital really let that many people in the waiting room? Like, who are all those people?
Well,
like,
again, this isn't any old town.
Oh, my God. I was counting. I was like, there are too many people in that waiting room.
I have the things COVID that we notice these days.
Stop touching each other.
I do have COVID awareness, though, like when I watch old stuff. Like, have you seen, like, old concert videos and stuff? It just makes you be like, oh,
I see pictures.
Those people what are they doing? There's a mosh pit. What are they doing? What are they thinking?
We were at a Mardi Gras parade, and I see pictures, and I'm just like, oh, there goes Matt. Bye, Matt. I see pictures. I'm like, we are too close. Like, look at the COVID. It's all around. Like, it's spreading all around us. But and that was like 2 weeks before all of this started. So
it's a different world.
It truly is. Okay.
But it's fun to escape into. Do we know the name of the town?
Dillon.
The Dillon Panthers. Okay.
Yeah, Dillon Panthers. Right. So now we're going to switch to.
Is it a real town?
I don't know. Google.
You've never Googled it or anything in all of your Friday night lights, like rewatching or anything?
No. But, that sounds like something that you would do. So.
We'll get back to our listeners next
episode. Teaser.
We'll get lots of breakdown about the town of Dillon if it does exist.
All right, so we're gonna start with our first impressions of each character. If I can.
All right, now you've got to work on your poker face, because if I'm like,
all right,
if I say something,
are we doing the whole 5 words? Just share your first impression, because I don't.
Okay, but I'm saying if my impression of this person is going to change, you have to. Just poker face it, because I don't want spoilers.
Nothing happening. All right, so can you see my screen?
I see John Rayburn.
Okay, you see Eric.
John
Eric
Rayburn
Taylor.
is a good person, but he did a very bad thing, and he's got a headset on.
Okay, so tell me, what were your first impressions of Coach Eric Taylor?
I like the character a lot. I think he's going to be fun to watch. He was easy to cheer for. You can tell that he's a good guy. I liked it.
Okay. Easy enough. His wife, Tammy Taylor.
She drives me nuts.
What?
Yeah.
She's the best character in the whole series.
Well, and I've assumed.
I guess we're just doing pilot impressions. So
yeah, of course you know what's going to happen at the book, that the book club isn't really a book club. Like, come on. They don't really want you to hear your impressions of, I don't know, running with scissors or something. Come on. So, yeah, I felt like, and in the episodes to follow, she gets on my nerves. I don't remember, is the guidance counselor thing in this episode, or is it in the next one?
I think that's the next one.
Yeah, of course that's something you need to discuss. That would be like Mr. TT, becoming the Kentucky SID or something, and not being like, oh, I didn't really think that we would have interactions. Of course you talk that over with your spouse. I don't know.
I think in the pilot they didn't think she was going to be as big of a hit as she was. Like, I think she must have, when they, went and like read reader or viewer reviews or whatever, found that she got a really good, favorable reaction from people because she does
not
become
for me. She gets on my nerves.
Well, you suck. So.
And I knew that she was going to be bigger later because when I clicked the thing to buy Friday Night Lights, the season, like it's like the big pictures of her and of John Rayburn, and then like all the little pictures around the side.
Him John Rayburn.
I'm so sorry, it's happening. And like all the little pictures around the side are like other little characters, and I'm like, okay, she's must to be bigger than I think that she is right now.
All right, are we ready to move on?
Yeah, very much so.
All right, Jason Street.
I liked him, and I'm supposed to.
How could you dislike him? I mean,
that's what I meant by like I'm supposed to. Like it annoys me that I'm supposed to. So I feel like that something's gonna happen, but like I think I just kind of fit the square peg into the square hole.
Yeah,
like,
he's very one-dimensional.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, Tim Riggins.
I like the character. Here's the thing that annoys me about Tim and Tyra, and I'm also going to be going a little bit farther ahead on these. I don't like TV shows that just get too like cookie cutter psychology. Like, to me, that's the same thing as being predictable when it comes to the plot. Not every single one of us is the way that we are because at some point in our life, our daddy was mean to us or whatever the thing is. Like,
right.
So it's like Tyra doesn't want to be her mom and Riggins doesn't want to be his dad. And so you can predict every single little thing about his personality and his behavior based upon, him, his relationship with his parents. Like, that is just you can tell this was written by a bunch of nuts with PhDs. Like, the real world in some ways is like that, but in some ways I roll my eyes at the notion that a character is not more complex than some textbook stereotype. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
And all TV shows do that, and it drives me nuts. Like,
right.
You want to be able to just say easily, oh, well, they're that way. Look, look at their father. Like, so like you're doing a book report or something. Like, it's annoying. Like,
but like he's Jason Street's best friend. I mean, if Jason Street bought a ranch, Tim Riggins would live on it in Texas forever.
I didn't like him. Because of that, because you knew that was only because of the success that he was supposed to have. So and just the pilot, I didn't really like him. I've gotten to like him a little bit better, but the writing around him annoys me.
Okay, that's fair. All right, next is
Minka, John Mayer's girlfriend.
Lila Garrity.
She's one of my favorite characters.
What? Oh,
so
God, no.
I like her for the opposite reason of what I just said about Tyra and.
Okay, but she is super cookie cutter in the pilot. I think she develops depth as the season goes on. Yeah,
and it's hard for me to think about like her just giggling or whatever in the pilot. There's not going to be much but I'm talking about just what I've seen so far. The
thing that annoyed me. And it annoys me every time I watch the pilot is the whole like "you must kiss me" thing she did with Jason.
Oh yeah, that's so annoying. Yeah, I'm totally with you. But I like her character in that.
You just like that she's pretty.
No, I really don't. And she's I mean that we could have an argument with Baby Bop of whether or not she's my type or not. It would be interesting to hear her thoughts on that. But I like her as a character because her parents are who they are.
Yeah.
Like her mom is like super religious or whatever, and her dad is freaking Buddy Garrity. And
I'll get to in a minute.
And she seems to be someone who wants to be a good person. And I think that they are going to make her more interesting as it goes along. And so for that reason, I liked her. She was one of my favorites because I feel like she's not very predictable. Like, I feel like she could go – I feel like that she's kind of at a crossroads with this thing with Jason that happened. Mm-hmm. And I could see her going like crazy girl, wild girl, or whatever. And I could also see her like trying to stay with him or whatever. Like, I think it's going to be really interesting to watch what happens with her because of the way that they wrote her as not something that's really predictable.
All right,
to me.
That's fair.
Okay.
Next. Buddy.
I love him. He's like he's like the villain, but how could you not love him?
He's wonderful.
He makes me laugh like every episode because he's so over the top, obnoxious. Yeah. He reminds me of Todd Packer in The Office, who was my favorite Office character. And I know I'm not supposed to like Todd Packer either, but every time he drives off with his license plate, I start giggling at The Office. Like, I think Buddy is just larger than life. He's ridiculous. He runs the car dealership. My favorite Buddy quote so far, besides him, his very honest conversation that comes later with Jason Street that he has, which I thought was hilarious that he actually said those words. But my favorite Buddy moment so far was when he was trying to figure out why Coach Taylor has suspended Smash. And he goes,
wait, don't spoil things.
Well, we're talking about, what I've seen so far.
All right.
And Coach Taylor won't tell him. And he goes, well, I'm on the inside more than anybody, Coach. Like, if I'm not on the inside, who's on the inside? Like, it's just like it's so sad that he's as old as he is, and he is like so.
Dude, there are people like that in Danville, Kentucky.
I know, and aren't they hilarious?
I know, it's great. It's great. Yeah. All right, so Buddy is wonderful.
I love Buddy. What do you think of Buddy?
I think he's hilarious because he reminds me of people I grew up with.
He's great.
He's great. He's
Buddy in the seedy motel room trying to get some kid named Voodoo to come. I mean, come on, man.
Don't talk about that yet.
That's only like 4 episodes away.
Okay. All right. Next, Smash.
I love Smash.
Okay, Smash is great, right?
Yeah.
Larger than
how
life.
He talks himself in the third person. Like, he's so great.
He had most of my favorite quotes.
Yeah. Smash is one of my favorites.
Great. Put your rings in the air, like during his rap.
Which also was hilarious and so sad that like all these like old guys were like, ugh.
It's so true though. It's so true.
Yeah.
No, Smash is really good. I think season 2 is kind of his big thing, if I remember correctly, like his time to shine.
Well, the more Smash, the better. At least the way he is right now.
Yeah, wait till you meet his mom. I
met his mom. Yeah, met his mom.
She's great.
Yeah, she's great. Yeah,
so Smash is awesome. Tyra
drives me nuts.
Tyra season 1. Tyra is not great.
She sleeps with everything that moves, and
she's the bad girl. I think I will agree, super stereotypical. Which is so weird because by the end of the whole series, she's one of the best characters.
The thing about Tyra that I liked was the episode, I think it was called It's Different Being a Girl. I mean, what a woke episode to have, like, in 2006. Like the episode that was talking about how it's okay for, Smash to, have all the girls and all these guys to sleep with all these girls, but that if she does it, she's, a hoe, and she is a hoe. Like, she needs to stop doing that, but so is Smash, totally. And so it's interesting, when you start looking at the person, of what's going on with what's her name? Little Rayburn and,
Julie.
And Saracen.
We'll get to that.
It's interesting. Yeah.
So Tyra.
What do you think of Tyra in season 1? I mean, does she drive you nuts too?
Yeah.
It's the worst storyline.
She's the foil to Lila.
Yeah, but her like riding around. I mean, I don't know. Is she that different than Lila? I mean, I've gotten to that part, but I mean, I mean the her riding around with the dude from LA, like what a waste of my life. Like, I want those minutes back, man.
She's got issues, but
and her, like, with her mom, like, if we don't change this flat tire right now, then I think that's it. Like, it's just like, come on, man, just get to the game.
Right. Okay. Matt Saracen, a very polarizing character to some people.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I like him and I'm supposed to.
Yeah. I wish my husband was in here because he does a really funny Matt Saracen impression.
Yeah.
Because he's just like I don't know.
Whoever the actor is does a great job with the like stutter.
Jesse Palenque or no. That's I can't remember, but yeah.
But like
he's
his whole like shy stutter thing.
Yeah.
Like he does it. He's very believable with that.
Yeah, I like him. You're supposed to like him.
Yeah.
We'll move on because he develops a lot as the season goes on.
Yeah.
Landry. Love Landry.
What is it that he's in like everything?
He's in every Jesse Plemons. He's in like he was in Breaking Bad.
Yeah, I'm in Breaking Bad.
I think he did a bunch of those Black Mirror episodes. I don't know if you watch Black Mirror.
No, I was busy watching Godzilla.
Exactly. He probably was in Godzilla.
Hey, maybe.
He's great though. I think he's obviously the comic relief.
Right.
Very funny, very
straight
nerdy,
guy.
very witty.
Right.
I think
he's the straight guy, like in the comedy. Like I don't think he's funny, but like it's like straight guy funny.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
not straight like not gay, but like
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like straight like the straight guy.
He and Saracen's grandmother crack me up. I just love it. I don't know if it was this episode or if it was another
Grandma
one.
drives me nuts.
Grandma, look, I didn't include her in this because she was kind of a secondary character. I love her.
I'm ready for her to go.
Okay, well,
her and Tyra, I just want to fast forward.
Okay, we'll keep going. Julie Taylor.
Yeah. I think we're supposed to think she's hot, and I don't.
I hate Julie Taylor so much.
Really?
I could name this podcast the I Hate Julie Taylor podcast.
Really?
I really dislike Julie Taylor.
Okay.
I don't want that to influence. She's even annoying to me in the pilot.
Yeah.
I won't get into it any more than that.
I think that Tammy's way more annoying to me.
No. Shut your mouth.
I think Julie's more supportive of her dad than Tammy is.
Right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she's the youngest teenage character we see, right? She's a freshman, or I think she's
is she?
A sophomore.
Oh, okay.
She's young. Like
I like her so far.
Okay.
So you can eat it.
All right. Well, you just wait. All right. So that is our first impressions of each character.
Oh, we didn't do my very favorite character so far is well, he's my favorite so much I don't remember his name. The guy in the wheelchair at the rehab place.
We haven't gotten to that part yet. This is about the pilot.
I know, but
you've got to stop fast forwarding, or people.
I can't just watch one episode. They're like,
well, you know what? Well, this will be like the season 1 recap when you can talk about that stuff.
I'm talking about now. I like her.
Oh, okay. Well, good grief, we're gonna be here all night.
I like Herc. I like. Well, let me tell you where I'm at right now. So all right. So where I'm at right now.
Don't use any big spoilers. So in case people are trying to keep along and like.
All right. So Smash, trying to figure out what's going on with him, and they. Well, I want to say stuff.
Don't say it. Save it for next week.
All right,
because you still got 10 more episodes in season 1.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I want to do do predictions, and then you laugh at my predictions.
We can do predictions at I don't know. Let me think about that. We'll keep going. I had some other like segment thingies.
Okay.
So top quotes. Riggins, I just like to hurt people. That's like the first thing you hear him say.
Right.
Smash, put your rings in the air, which was so ridiculous.
That's good.
Riggins is Texas forever, which is the biggest gif, like meme gif, whatever you'll see.
Is that come back around or something?
Yes,
because I'm wondering like why people chose that as the gif that I get all the time.
And then obviously Clear Eyes, Full Hearts.
Yeah, now that I've heard a million times. Right? Can't lose. Yeah.
It's great. You get it in the first episode.
Did that come from this show?
Yeah.
Okay, because I've heard people say that.
Yeah, as far as I know. I don't remember hearing it.
Is it something that Dillon Panthers going back have always said? Because
again,
how did all the kids know to say
next time you're going to have to do all your research on Dillon. And
yeah, because it seems to me like, it's the first game of the season and everybody knows exactly what to say.
Well, I think it's a Coach Taylor thing. I take that back because
he's
later,
got it written on the wall and stuff.
Yeah, I think it's a Coach Taylor thing, and I'll tell you why as we get through the series.
Okay.
So I had that.
One thing that's been bothering me is I don't really know where Coach Taylor came from. So there's some hints to it in the pilot, and that he was maybe a successful coach in a nearby town or something. But
he came from California, but I could be making that up.
So I'm curious as to and this might be something I find out later, but I'm curious to how he ended up in Dillon, Texas. What the connection is there.
Yeah.
And because he's got his offensive coordinator that wants his job, or whatever, and so it's kind of well, why didn't they hire that guy, and how did they even hear about Coach Taylor? Where did he come from? So I'm interested to learn more about him, how he ended up with the job, those type of things. So hopefully I'll find that out. Yeah.
I had a That's So 2000 segment in which I was laughing at all the outdated references that they make. Like Smash is like, I'm going to be getting, they were asking him at Media Day, where do you see yourself next? He's like, I'm going to be down there with Mac Brown and Pasadena.
Yeah, Mac Brown, yeah.
And I was just like,
yeah, Baby Bop was really excited for the Mac Brown shout out.
I figured as much. And then later on, he's talking, I think they were at the diner, and he's like, I'm going to break up Paris Hilton's marriage.
I thought that was great. Yeah, that made me laugh.
Oh, man.
I think Mac Brown has a cameo.
Does he? He probably does.
I think it's in the dealership at the party.
Okay.
There's two guys come up to Coach Taylor and start talking to him. And it might not be in the pilot. It might be at a later episode where they're having a party at the dealership because
they
it's
do
a
like
recurring
to party
theme. So I think it's really funny. But there were these two men that come up to Coach Taylor and start talking to him about stuff. And Baby Bop was like, I think that's Mac Brown. And I mean, it could have been a Mac Brown 15 years ago. I mean, it looked enough like it.
Sure. Yeah. Mac Brown came.
Well, I haven't looked anything. I'm trying not to look anything.
That's good.
I don't want to accidentally see something.
Yeah. So that's all I had segment wise.
Like R.I.P. Smash or something like that. I don't want to see any of that stuff.
One thing, did you ever see Friday Night Lights the movie?
No, and that was another thing that we talked about. So there was a movie with Billy Bob Thornton or something, right?
Right.
Was he Coach Taylor?
See, it's been so long since I've seen it.
It's based on the book, right?
Yeah, it's all based on a book.
Have you read the book?
No, I haven't. But it's been so long since I watched the movie. And then whenever I think, because when you ask most people about Friday Night Lights, they think of the TV show.
Right. See, I was curious about that too.
We should get, I wish we had gotten Nick Roush on this episode because he is very much pro Friday Night Lights, the movie.
Oh, really?
Friday Night Lights, the TV show. He refuses to watch the TV show. I've tried to talk him into watching it.
Oh, wow.
5 million times. He's like, it's some soap opera. I don't want to watch a soap opera.
Right.
It's a little soapy, but it's
Tyra. It's only because of Tyra. Tyra's the one that makes it soapy.
Yeah, so there are two different entities, the Friday Night Lights movie fans, Friday Night Lights TV show fans. I'm definitely
if the movie doesn't have Grandma, then I'm all about it.
I hate that Grandma's so great. Have you gotten to the road trip episode? No.
I don't think so.
So you'll have a new appreciation for Grandma come later this season.
I'm probably just going to want to fast forward through that episode too. It's not that I have anything against Grandma, as far
like the moment. So I'd
rather watch the drama around the team than follow all these little things. I'm just hoping it's taking me somewhere. I wanted to get me somewhere because if all it's supposed to do is make me like Matt Sarrazin, then I already like Matt Sarrazin without. I mean, they could have given me a half an episode showing him taking care of his sick grandma, but I got to see it over and over and over again. And he tries to take Julie on a date and he can't because grandma's walked off somewhere. And it's like, man, go away,
You're
lady.
so terrible.
I'm just ready for her to go away. And then, his dad comes back from Iraq and stuff, and he's like, I'm thinking, oh, good, he's going to take grandma away, and take care of. No. Dad goes back, and grandma's still there. It's just like.
But she has such great one-liners. Like I think the beginning of the pilot, she comes out,
Like what? Like where's my sandwich? Like what? Like what's her great one-liner?
She just is so ruthless. Like she's like, you're going to have to keep practicing. Or like when Saracen goes
move
in.
Your feet.
That's funny.
No, it's not, man.
You are just away, such a
Grandma.
hater. So you hate Grandma and you hate Tammy. Like this is terrible.
And Tyra.
And Tyra's whatever. She hasn't gone through her character growth yet. But I think off the bat you should like Tammy Taylor.
No, I don't like Tammy.
No.
I feel like she's like against Coach Taylor. The whole episode she's complaining.
She is a woman who wants her own life.
No, she is a woman that wants
to walk
that
his
house,
and her
to
closets.
walk his and her closets. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Get out. Like that was so like stop complaining. Like I mean, like I don't know, man.
You will have new respect for Tammy the next time we talk.
We need more Julie and more Minka.
The two worst characters. All right, so we're gonna wrap it up. I think next episode we'll do a season 1 recap, and then we can, for your prediction thingies, we can do predictions for season 2.
That sounds good.
Because I don't want.
If season 1 ends in a cliffhanger, I'm going to be mad.
I can't even remember. I'll have to go back and watch. But we got plenty of time.
Because I'm going to want to like keep going and not diddle around with this podcast.
I was going to say, if we do this every week, is that enough for you to finish the season? And then
I mean, we did 10 episodes.
Should we do every 2 weeks?
No, let's do. I mean, I don't know what you think of the listeners will be good. We can do 2 weeks now, and then going forward, we can do it every week.
You all let us
get
know.
Everybody on a groove.
Because I had honestly forgotten there were so many episodes in a season.
It depends on somebody's watching on the NBC app. Then we might want to do it every
Peacock
6 weeks.
App. Peacock.
Yeah,
but we could also do like every 10 episodes, every 5 episodes, or we could just do our favorite episodes from that season. Like I already know the Mud Bowl from season 1. I could do a whole podcast about that episode.
I don't think I know that.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. So we'll figure it out. You guys give us some feedback. Let us know how long you think it's going to take you to keep moving along if you're watching for the first time, or if you're watching for the second time. Do you really want to have to go through, every 5 episodes, 10 episodes, or is 1 episode per season enough? So
just let us know. And thanks to our sponsor, Buddy Garrity Auto Sales.
Yes, Buddy Garrity Auto Sales. It's a perfect place to get a car and throw a party.
Make sure you wear your American flag pin when you go.
Yeah. That is the site of some scandalous things that happen later in the series.
Okay.
Teaser.
Nice.
So, all right, guys. So hit us up. I'm at Mrs. Tyler KSR. You are at Fake Barney KSR. Give us your thoughts, questions, what your favorite moments from season 1 were, and we will talk about it in the next episode. Barney, are you just gonna get off here and go watch more Friday Night Lights?
Yeah, this has got me in the mood to fired up, and let's get Team Minka on the big TV.
Well, and then season from now on, we get the awesome intro, which I think is one of the best intros of a television show ever. Like the music, like the.
It's different than the one right now.
And the pilot didn't have it.
Oh, okay. I was trying to say I like the intro.
Yeah, it's so good, episodes. And they have their helmets in the air.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
All right. Well, clear eyes, full hearts.
Can't lose.
All right. Bye, guys. See you next week.